Advanced Boolean Searching for the Advanced Legal Research course at Boston College Law School. As you already know, Boolean searches use search terms combined with Boolean connectors to get you all the documents that exactly match your search statement. Westlaw, Lexis, and Bloomberg Law allow the searcher to choose between using terms and connectors for Boolean searching or natural language for relevancy ranking searching in a search statement. Whether or not you started with a Boolean search or a natural language search, Westlaw and Lexis allow you to search within your search results using searches employing Boolean search logic. When you design a Boolean search, you are balancing two competing tensions: the desire for precision, which is eliminating irrelevant documents from your search results, and a desire for accuracy, which is maximizing the relevant documents returned by your search. Remember that you don't need to craft a perfect search, but you do want to write a search that harnesses the power of the computer to let it do as much of the sorting of potentially useful documents as it can for you. Accuracy in a Boolean search is writing a search that includes as many of the things you are looking for as possible. A totally accurate search that contains every document you might need to use would probably contain so many irrelevant documents that it isn't worth your time to look at all of them. So don't worry about achieving total accuracy, especially on your first try. Here's a research tip. Do start with a broad search and narrow your results. It's easier to eliminate the unnecessary than to know what you aren't seeing. One way to increase accuracy is to include alternative ways of expressing the same concept. Consider adding antonyms as well as synonyms, since your discussion could be of the positive protection of the right to privacy, or it could be of the negative invasion of privacy. Some search systems have built-in thesauri to suggest additional synonyms and related concepts that you might want to add to your search. Because each word or phrase could have multiple meanings, words in the Westlaw thesaurus are suggested in groups of related terms that you can choose individually or as a unit. After looking at the possible synonyms or related concepts for one term, we can then check potential synonyms or related concepts for the other term in the query. Another tool that can be used to increase your accuracy is the hyphen, rather than quotation marks for phrases that could also be hyphenated words. Both Westlaw and Lexis will retrieve the two-word phrase as well as the hyphenated word if you enter it as a hyphenated word. Westlaw goes the added step of automatically including the compound word. Lexis doesn't do that, so if you're using a hyphenated word that could have been expressed as a compound word on Lexis, you will want to include that alternative with an OR connector. And speaking of connectors, another way to improve your search accuracy is to understand the order in which the system processes the connectors. Unlike you and I who read left to right, the computer looks for the connectors first and determines in which order to process them based on the most likely scenario. Lexis, Westlaw, and Bloomberg Law, in their Boolean search engines, process the OR connectors first, assuming that this is a list of alternatives, all of which should have the same relationship to the other terms in the search. These search engines process proximity connectors and grammatical connectors next. After that, these search engines process the ands and finally the nots. And usually, this is the order you want these operations to be applied. But if you want them applied differently, all you need to do is add parentheses to change their order. So in my example, salt and pepper or cinnamon, the computer, not knowing what these words mean, assumes pepper or cinnamon are alternatives and processes that connector first, requiring one or the other to be in the same document as the word salt. By putting parentheses around salt and pepper, we tell the computer we want this operation performed first, and we want any documents that have either both the word salt and the word pepper, or any document that contains the word cinnamon. Precision in a Boolean search is writing a search that eliminates irrelevant documents. A totally precise search that contains no irrelevant documents will probably exclude a number of documents that might be useful. This can be okay because there are other research tools and methods that will help you discover these excluded documents to a point. You will want to strive for a balance between precision and accuracy in your searches. There are a number of tools these systems have to help you increase your precision. Usually Lexis and Westlaw don't pay attention to capital letters in search terms, but if you're looking for an acronym, you can tell the system not to include documents with that string of characters unless they are all in caps. For example, if you're looking for acquired immune deficiency syndrome and want to look also for AIDS, use all caps to prevent accidentally pulling up references to first aid. Another tool for eliminating irrelevancies is the ATLEAST operator. The worst search I ever ran was a single word search that pulled up 30 documents, all of which had footnotes that said, quote, "This document will not discuss," and there was my search term. To make sure that a subject is actually being discussed, as opposed to just mentioned, you can use the ATLEAST operator to require your search term to have multiple occurrences in the documents retrieved. You can set the number at least 2 or 3 or 5, whatever you think will eliminate the casual mentions but include the true discussions. Another way to increase your precision is to require that your search term be in a particular part of a document. Documents are divided into fields, that's what Westlaw calls them, or segments, that's Lexis's term, that allow a user to search for terms in a particular part of the document. This is what makes it possible pulling up a case by name rather than locating every case that mentions the case name. Some fields or segments are information added by the vendor and proprietary to the system. Some are unique, like the West Key Number Digest and the Lexis Core Terms, and cases on both Lexis and Westlaw have headnotes, but the headnotes on each system are exclusive to that system. Segments and fields are database specific, since different types of documents will have different types of fields. In Westlaw, if you drill down to a database that has only one type of document, you will find a template that makes field searching easy. The document fields on the Westlaw Advanced Search page for cases includes fields like judge, attorney, and docket number. The fields available on the Westlaw Advanced Search page for statutes are different, including fields such as caption, citation, annotations, statutory text, and historical notes. Lexis also has different segments on Advanced Search pages based on the segments available in that type of document. Cases contain segments not found in other documents or other search systems, such as disposition, core terms, opinion by, and concur by. While the Lexis Advanced Search page for codes contains segments such as citation, publication, heading, text, and unannotated. What is the ideal distance between search terms? It really depends. If you're looking for any case that mentions a witness and a signature, use the AND connector. If you're looking for cases that discuss a witness's testimony and talk about that witness's signature, maybe the same sentence or same paragraph connector might be more useful in eliminating irrelevant cases. And if you're looking for something about a witness to a signature, it might be best to have it within a few words. Here's another research tip. When you use Boolean terms and connectors searching, you can make adjustments to your search strategy in part based on the number of documents you retrieve. When your terms are used frequently, you should define your topic more narrowly. When there don't seem to be a lot of cases directly on point, try thinking more broadly, or of adding analogous situations to search for. Strive for balance in your searches. If a terms and connectors Boolean search gets you way too many documents, or if it gets you no documents at all, try changing to a different type of search engine, like the relevancy ranking natural language search engines. Or maybe take a step back and find a new starting place altogether. After all, we call it research, not one search.